even when we're average. If we're average, we don't want anyone to bother us. We want to continue in our nap. We want to continue in our drudgery. We want to continue in our slowfulness. Every one of us wants things to go our way. Like I said before, even a thief don't want you home. If I'm going to commit a crime, I still don't want you home. So it's frustrating when we are walked through an awakening that we have not yet had. So you're going to feel very frustrated and bottled up and tied down. But once you wake up, for you, once you wake up, you're going to see how life is going to go. Whatever it is that wakes you up will guide you. You'll no longer need someone to walk you through this and what decisions to make and how should I do it. Whatever it is that has woken you up, whatever it is that woke you up will also guide you. So how many of you are being guided by the thing that woke you up? See, when you're constantly asking questions, boom, when you're constantly asking questions and you're an awakened individual, you probably haven't awakened. You're probably aware, but you probably haven't crossed over into what you really want to be and what you're really doing. Because once awakening comes, you're no longer caught with the option of, this is what I want to do. Once awakening comes, you're doing what you want. That's whatever woke you up will guide you. Of course, sister, you know what's up. You know how it is. Whatever it is that woke you up will guide you. You see, once you wake up, that's right. Yeah, once you wake up, you're guided. And you no longer have to say, this is what I want to do. People who have awakened will never say, this is what I want to do. Them doing it is the awakening. You'll never be caught with the option, because if you say, this is what I want, you are exposing that there is a gap between you and your desire. So I found out you really just can't talk to people. You know, I could talk to people, but people are going to do what's convenient to their experience and their emotion. You could just talk to people, but a light has to come on, and it comes on when we find that the seeker, it comes on when the seeker has made up their mind that they're not going to allow themselves to be tormented by the whatevers. I think when we don't know what's going to happen, it torments us to stay on the shore. When we are tormented by the unfamiliar, the fear of discomfort or the fear of pain, the fear of exchange, the fear of loss. I don't know what it's going to be like, and the discomforts of not knowing will keep you waiting in the shell because we fear the discomforts of really letting go. And we always say this, how you doing, little sister? Talking to Trina. We say that, let go and let God. No, when you are not familiar with what God is going to do through you, you don't let go. And so we bottle up all of the cliches of spiritual talk, and we negotiate with God with this bottled up spiritual talk. And we still don't transform. We listen hard, but we don't transform. And it's not a matter of leaving sin per se, but it's leaving the confines of comfortability of thought. But believe me, you won't feel this drudgery or this pulling unless you feel an invitation to transform higher. Because if you don't get the invitation to move forward into this dimension, Believe me, you will be trapped with comfortability and comfort zones. But people who have received an invitation to go further, they know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be on here long. I know it's Mother's Day. How many of you have received an invitation to go forward? Not just forward in religion, but forward. Forward. Not just forward from a relationship. Sometimes we think awakening is when you done been in a relationship with somebody and they broke up with you and spit on you and stuff like that. It's like, I'm moving on. Some of us move on from relationships, or we move on from a job. But this is moving on into an invitation into your total original self. That invitation is different than the breakup with some dude and with some woman. You can find somebody, or sometimes you break up with somebody, then you, man, I'm hurt. Then you go out to eat somewhere and see another pretty lady or pretty handsome guy. You're like, hey, how you doing? And so you feel like, God didn't bless me. He didn't let me stay there long. This is different than a date. This is so much different than a date. This is a date with destiny, a date with your total life being evaluated, not judged to see if you're bad, but you're being invited to a higher place of power and divinity. How many of you, I see you, sister, she said, I've accepted the invite. How many of you guys have accepted that invitation into awakening? Because people could talk to you, and everybody's not going to tell you what you like. See, awakening is, I'm moving on from complacency. Of course, to ascension. That's the way it is, ascended living. Sometimes people can judge and determine what words they like from you and don't like. I'm accused of being rather aggressive. Well, yeah, because I'm not aggressive. I'm intent. I'm intentional with it. I know what it's like to live from that plane. Did it make me perfect? No, it made me perfect for purpose. It exposed a lot of my quote-unquote imperfections now. Hey, beautiful. Imperfections. But I'm intentional in living out myself. And because I know how it apprehended me, the way I come across may be somewhat intentional or aggressive. Because I let you know there is no back doors to this. I don't want to waste my time. And if we're going to walk together, I want us to share time together and create together. Oh, you know how it is. Yeah, I may rock the boat, and sometimes I get out and just run on the water. But I accepted that invitation, and it was intentional in giving it to me. It's not a matter about being a better Christian. I'm not looking to be a better Christian. I'm living out my original DNA. I'm not trying to be better at it. I'm living out the thought that God had when he thought of me when he created me. There was a thought that God had when he thought of you and made you. That thought is inviting us to an experience. You see, Tanya, before you were created, there was a thought that God had of you before he created you. That thought is inviting you to an experience. Stephanie, that thought is inviting you to an experience. Sherry, that thought is inviting you to an intentional experience. The thought that God had when he made you is calling you. Bridget, Jason, Chari, everyone who's on here, that thought is calling you to an experience. It's inviting you, and it fulfills God when you become the thought that he had when he made you. And then you discover the will of God. The will of God is never religious. The will of God is the emotion that God had when he thought of you when he made you. And then when you step into the thought that he had of you when he made you, it completes God's creative process with you. It affirms what has happened. And then that thought begins to release. Trina, that thought begins to release a vibration in your life and a power. To only be, I'm rubbing my nose, Lord. Just forgive me for rubbing my nose in the public. But when you live from that vibration, you live higher than he broke up with me. She broke up with me. You know she didn't call me back. You know he didn't call me. That's low life. You begin to live higher than, you know he didn't call me. You live beyond that. And it's not that you're trying to be deep. You're not deep. You're high. You're not deep low. You're high. You've transcended the common. Undrai, you've ascended the common. You've living beyond the common. You're living beyond the common, and people don't understand it. You're living beyond what's common and convenient. That's that. Oh yeah. Oh, that's why your nose is running. It's probably something in there working. Y'all pray for me. It's probably something working in there. Yeah, you're living beyond the common. And see, when you live beyond the common, you are being guided by the thing that woke you up. Oh, you know what's up. You're being guided by the thing that woke you up. Whatever it is that woke you up will guide you. Whatever woke you up, whatever it is that awakened you will lead you. It won't wake you up and find somebody else to lead you. No, whatever woke you up will tell you where to go. But when you are afraid of words, sometimes people who are afraid of the future and the discomforts of not knowing what the future is, what is this thing going to do? We stay back and we look and we stay back and we keep promising God and we keep reading stuff and we keep promising God, but we're afraid to go through the door. We have a fear of words. Why did you say it like that? You shouldn't have said it like that. Your personality. People, blind souls blame people. Blind souls will always blame light. It's the purple vibration. Are you speaking what you say? Of course, I don't need a script. You're right. Blind souls will always blame words. Write that down. Blind souls will blame sound. I don't like how you said it. Blind souls will blame looks. I don't like how you looked at me. Blind souls will blame words. I hate the way it sounded when you said it. Blind souls are blind to the door, and they will always blame people because they haven't found the right personality or the right words to give them the agreement to follow themselves. It's like no one else owns the key to your agreement. Listen, no one else owns the key to your agreement. No one else owns the key to your agreement. It's like we're trapped in ourselves, waiting for the right speaker to come and set us free. It's like we're waiting for the right agreement to come, to let us go, to give us the permission to go. And it's like, no, you have the agreement. Yeah. So it's frustrating leading people through awakenings that they haven't experienced because they're not enjoying it. It's like, what's next? What's next? They've never developed a root to grow in the awareness. What's next? Because they're steadily protecting and guarding their feelings. They're guarding their feelings. They're guarding their feelings. And they're guarding their protection. I don't want to go too far, I might slip. So they never learn because they're busy protecting themselves. But whatever it is that woke you up will guide you. I own my own key, no one else. Of course, that's right. So before I go, remember whatever it is that woke me up will guide me. Yeah. And you no longer have to be afraid of words anymore, and afraid of intention, and afraid of plans, and afraid of direction. You don't have to be afraid of that. Because you're not blind. You can see. Happy Mother's Day. happy every day. Peace. I love you.